last week we were talking about co-wholesaling and how it works. We started talking about getting deals from wholesalers, how to find deals. We talked about Craigslist. Brandon took us to Craigslist. He showed us exactly how to put in the keywords in the search bar and how to put in, how to do a search and pull up wholesalers. And then he demonstrated live on that workshop session how to do the call, okay, with a wholesaler that has a deal. And he talked with that guy. That guy was open to it. The call went well. Okay, so I assume we're going to pick up where we left off. But Brandon, I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm really stoked about the material that you're going to cover today and the things that we're going to dive into, because I know this is life changing. So let me go ahead and just turn this over to you right now.
Well, cool. Well, so last week we went over how to find some deals, right, and how to hunt for a deal today using Craigslist. One of the other things I love doing is using Facebook and social media. I call it fishing and farming on social media and hunting, right? I can go find a deal right now in a Facebook group, someone that has a JV deal that wants to joint venture with us. I can make a post on social media and try to attract people by throwing out some bait. That's kind of like fishing for a deal. And then I can also farm, and farming means like planting seeds. So I can go in Facebook groups and make comments on other people's posts, try to become like the mayor of the town. There's one other level to this too. The other level is really just being the mayor of the town, being the guru in your area, and being the facilitator. So imagine where you create a Facebook group. You create a Facebook group and everyone's bringing deals to you. What would that feel like, Justin?
That would feel incredible. I would love that. Yeah. Everybody, let's start that right now. Everybody just start bringing me your deals.
Well, I want to introduce you guys to my good friend, Nathan Payne. He's out in Salt Lake City area. He's been wholesaling. He's doing traditional ugly house wholesaling. Understands the pretty house and creative stuff too. He's doing some of that. But most importantly, what I want to do is introduce him and have him explain a little bit about how he got making part of his whole business. Like there's the whole marketing side of a regular traditional wholesaling business. Now he's taken the joint venture model and just magnifying this, like taking this 10x. And he's done this by creating a Facebook group. Nathan, will you just introduce yourself a little bit and explain kind of how you got going to this? And please share your Facebook group with everyone here too.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for having me on here, Brandon. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah. Coming through good.
So when I met Brandon, me and my company, we had been strictly paid marketing to get our deals. And we were, we'd have great months and sometimes we would have terrible months. And it was like a roller coaster. So when I met Brandon, I was, he was giving us some advice on how to improve our business. And he said, guys should start JVing more. You should start joint venturing, co-wholesaling with other investors. So at that time, we had a pretty decent process for disposing properties nationwide. So I just started messaging people like Brandon and you guys have taught you, messaging people on Facebook. I didn't do the Craigslist thing, but it was mainly just Facebook. And I ended up, I think I did like $70,000 in like three months of just messaging people and networking. And so then I got the idea. I'm like, man, this is great. Like it's really important as you invest in wholesale or do whatever to market, right? So you have your paid marketing, but you also have to have a different arm of the business that does organic marketing, right? Getting deals with zero marketing spend, no marketing spend. So I took it to the next level. I talked to Brandon. I said, hey man, there's all these Facebook groups that I see that I'm sure all these the hosts of the Facebook groups are getting deals or people are bringing them deals. So I said, I'm going to do that. And let's kind of show you guys what I have going on.
And make sure to share the link for your Facebook group with everyone. If they're not in there, feel free to join it.
But I've taken this to the next level. Since my business has been successful wholesaling, I'm also created my platform or my my site as like a coaching, like an education platform too. So not only can people bring me deals, we do deals on the wholesale side, but I can teach people how to wholesale, how to do this business of what we're doing. So sorry about my internet. It seems like it's pretty slow right now. Let's see. So this is my Facebook group, and I'll show you guys two things that I'm doing right now to grow and get JV deals. There's actually multiple things, right? Like you have to have your team always networking. But I started this group about a year ago. Well, actually, we can find out and see the growth. But let's see. Maybe we
Look how many members you have right now.
Yeah, so let's see when I started this thing. I started it June 1st, it looks like, of last year. And right now we're in May. So I'll show you the growth. So it started out really slow, but through different strategies and continuously posting, value and trying to help people grow. It looks like it was like a 121. I don't know why that's not. Oh, there it is. 172. And just over time of posting value, providing value, it's at 2,395, which is great. And I've just made it like a goal of mine to always provide value and help people. And just through being a go-giver, like Brandon teaches, more and more people, they're posting, and this is not just me, people are coming in here networking. That was my goal. Is like, hey, let's create a community where people can help each other get deals. And, that was the goal. So I've used this. We've gotten several JV deals this way. I have to go check how many, but the thing is, a lot of new investors come in here and they post their deals, and they're just not deals. So you have to educate, you have to help people and explain to them why their deals aren't very good. But if you guys want to join in here, go ahead, search. All you have to do, if you want to search for for a deal, you can just type in buyer and maybe look for someone that's looking for a buyer. I need a cash buyer in Florida, DM me. You guys would message Jenny and be like, hey, Jenny, I got great buyers in Florida. So that's like what I usually do when I go in other people's groups. So you're all welcome to come in here. My only thing is like, just don't spam it. Like, don't be like self-promote or be like, hey, buy my course or buy my like whatever. But I can share that with all you guys. And I'll even show you, I even took it a step further. I even went a little crazier. Facebook, as you guys can see, when I make a post, I don't know what, they have like an algorithm. So they like limit how many people can see your posts. So I'm actually like the owner of the group, but they limit like how many people, because there's so many posts going out. So they limit out of the 2,000 people, like they're going to limit sometimes what can be seen. So I was like, that's kind of annoying. I don't like that. So I created a Discord channel. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Discord, but Discord is like, there's no filtering. If I have a message that I want to tell people, everyone can see it. So I created a Discord channel for my coaching platform, and it's free to get into this. And there's like 250, 25 online, 216. So like 200 and what is that? Like 40 people. And I have a section for deals that's people can specifically go in here and post their deals, and then you can look at them. And then I'm like, well, people don't have deals. They should collaborate, Collaboration Nation, Squad Up. So people that don't have a deal can go and say, hey, I need a buyer here. So I'm trying to create a platform on my Facebook group and on Discord where people can do deals and JV. And so you're all welcome to join this as well. So,
can you throw the links in the chat, Nathan?
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate jumping on and taking time out of your day to explain this a little bit. I want to open up real quick before Nathan has to jump off. Is there any questions about creating a Facebook group or a Discord channel?
Both excellent ideas.
Thank you.
Wonderful to meet you. Hey, I've been in your Facebook group since right after you started it. I think Brandon sent out an invitation for people kind of early in the game last year, and I got in early, man. I've been watching you all year, and you go live in there sometimes too, right?
We try to go live, every week to provide some sort of value, because this is the thing. I'm a part of a bunch of Facebook groups that I'll never even go in, or I'll never even remember. But why I'm thinking everyone the reason why I feel like people get value from my group is I'm always trying to give them some knowledge, or, hey, it's like, hey, I just did a deal. We made this. This is how we did it. Always trying to provide some sort of value. So I appreciate you being in that. And that's, if you guys want to be successful in these groups and JVing, give more than you're asking for. Give
Exactly.
you gotta provide more value than you're trying to take from people. I have people message me all the time. They're like, Nathan, will you mentor me? And I'm just like, for free? I don't have any money. And I'm like, I'm pretty busy. It doesn't work like that. Like, you just don't reach out to someone and say, hey, mentor me. Like, I have nothing to provide, but please help me. Like, at least give me something, at least show that you're willing to do some work. Be like, hey, Nate, I'll cold call. I have 8 hours a day. I'll do whatever if you show me. Then I'll say, hey, yeah, let me get you a dialer license. Go call all day, and we'll see if we can do a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, give more than you ask for.
And what I like too in there, Nathan, is you're very authentic. You talk about the wins, you talk about the mess ups, the things that don't always go right too. And that's what I think social media is full of, all the the glamorized Instagram pictures that are all filtered and everything like that. But whenever we kind of pull the curtain back and say, hey, not everything went perfect this week. We struggled here, or we had a deal fall out, or like I think one of the ones you posted about how you filed a memorandum because the seller was backing out and stuff like that. Those are all things that people need to know, because it's real. This is the game. This is the game we're in.
Yeah,
so,
right. I mean, there's going to be something that happens most of the time. Like, either title's going to mess up, the seller's going to try something funky. Like, you just got to be prepared. And I think like you said, Brandon, a lot of people just post flashy checks, and it's like, hey, you know how long it took to get this check? This was a bumpy ride to get this thing. Like, tell people the truth. It ain't all roses and rainbows.
100%. Nathan, I appreciate you jumping on. I know you're busy, and thanks for just taking a few minutes out of your day and jumping on here. Appreciate it.
For sure. Everybody, please join the group, join the Discord. I want you to make money. So go in there, provide value, ask people, say, hey, I can help you dispo your deals, or just network, just talk to people. I think that's what's going to help you succeed.
So what's interesting is Nathan has this, and by the way, I think there's a progress for a lot of us. We almost, and luckily I was around people like Sean Terry and Todd Toback and a lot of people that believed in the go-giver way, right? That there's more than enough. There's an abundance out there. It's like I don't know, Nathan, if you gave me this analogy or not. It's kind of like going to the ocean and taking a 5-gallon bucket and taking water out of the ocean and thinking that you're taking too much. There's literally an ocean full of water. 5 gallons is nothing, right?
100%, yeah, that's right. Like, that's what flipped things for me. Before I met Brandon, I thought everybody was competition, and I would look at other wholesalers and not want to give them information, because I'm like, yeah, they may take a deal from me, or they might use the information I have, to be better, right? There you go, collaboration over competition. It's the truth. If everybody in here can help each other do at least one deal, we all succeed, right? Instead of just trying to do our own things.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Love it. And make sure you check out his Facebook group. What is amazing is he's doing a lot of stuff out in Utah, but this has just opened up the gates for him to do deals in all the states, right? The whole United States.
Nationwide, we got a couple deals. One in Nashville. We got one in Texas. We got 2. We're flipping in Utah. So there's a lot going on. And it's nice because Corey, my business partner, runs the wholesaling side. I'm completely dedicated to, like, this space I just told you. So it's fun to be here.
Awesome.
Thank
you, Nathan. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Cool. So that's an idea of using social media and Facebook and taking it to another level. He's also got a YouTube channel. So a lot of stuff that Justin's doing too. Justin, this is all the stuff that you're doing, and you get deals this way. But imagine, so because Nathan has a business partner, his business partner runs the sales team, the dispo side. He is all focused on free organic lead gen.
I love it. Yeah.
And so it does take time, right? But it doesn't take money. It takes time, but and part of it is helping newer wholesalers understand what a deal is, what isn't a deal, and stuff like that. So Well, let me just take a minute. I want to show you guys a couple things. Most importantly, I think a lot of you are probably wondering, like, paperwork. Like, if you're more analytical like me, you probably want to know what paperwork to use. So it's really pretty simple. I want to share that with you. And if you guys have questions along the way at all, please just don't hesitate to ask. Like chime in, ask away. This is the crazy long JV option agreement, the co-wholesale agreement. If you look, it is one page. It's
Correct.
2 sentences or 2 paragraphs. Basically, you put in your LLC at the top, the wholesalers LLC, whoever you partner up with there. And then if they're going to do a 50-50 split with you, you find out what they got the property under contract for. You put the price there. You can make it exclusive or non-exclusive. You can delete the non there and just make it exclusive. That means, like, no matter what, you're not going to get cut out of the deal. What's interesting, on the more experienced people, I usually do non-exclusive. That means if they find a buyer before I do, that's fine. It just gives me a chance to market it, and I kind of present it like I'm just an extra marketing arm for them. The exclusive is usually newer people or people that they don't know what they're doing yet. But if I blast out 20,000 emails and all of a sudden their phone starts ringing, like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Everyone's like calling me now, and they probably found the property and their website or something on their property, and now all of a sudden they're getting a call. So I like to do exclusive on those. And then we do a 50-50 split. So this reads: seller agrees to a 50-50 split of proceeds over and above sales price with whatever your real estate company is, right? If you're doing a net price, like they just want to make a net amount, you just take out, you just delete paragraph 2. This is the whole agreement right here. So let me go ahead and share this with everyone real quick.
Yeah,
too.
that's awesome. Yeah, the same agreement is in the members dashboard also. If you're one of my people, you shared this with us last year as well. So some of the same material is already available in there if you guys want to go check that out. This, however, looks different. So I probably don't have this one.
So this is just this is an assignment agreement I used a lot when I was wholesaling with Sean. Basically, it was a way to kind of hide our price. Like if we have a large amount, you can use a regular assignment contract and spell out what the assignment fee is too. You probably have that in your membership area too,
I
Justin.
do. Yes, I have it. It's like explicitly laid out, like in ABC fashion. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good because there's really, especially if you're making a small amount, there's no reason to hide anything. But sometimes you get a really big assignment fee, and
Sure.
so this just kind of hides that assignment fee. It just says the purchase price to the buyer is a certain amount, and basically after closing costs or whatever, the balance of the fund shall be the assignment fee. And you can change the earnest deposit and stuff like that. I'll throw that in the group as well. It's just more for like the bigger ticket deals. Sometimes it just depends. By the way, those are really the only 2 agreements you need. Sometimes title companies want you to have a contract between you and the wholesaler. You can do that, but option agreements are assignable. Options are totally assignable. So if you do a JV option, you can assign the deal, and then they can exercise the option to purchase. So most title companies don't ask me for that AB contract between me and the wholesaler that brought me the deal. So that is paperwork.
Well, can you entertain me here for just a moment on the paperwork topic? I would like to have you explain to me the chain of events. For example, wholesaler A has the property under contract with the homeowner. Now, he's looking for a cash buyer ultimately, but here comes wholesaler B, us, for example. We have the desire to bring a cash buyer into the deal. We wholesaler B contacts wholesaler A, says, hey, if I bring a buyer, can we do the deal 50-50? He says yes.
Okay.
Okay, wholesaler B.
Let's draw this out here real quick.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, please do. He's going to send that option agreement. And is it an option to buy the house, or is it an option to buy the assignment, or can you know what I mean? Can you really clarify this for me in step by steps
You bet.
process?
So
Thank you, dude.
So I'll draw this out, and hopefully this makes sense for everyone, and anyone else chime in. So this is my motivated seller. Okay, they have a property that is distressed, right? And so the wholesaler, all right, this is the wholesaler here. They go and talk to that that seller, right? And then they go get what's called an AB contract. Oops. Let me get this plugged in here. So they get what's called an AB contract. That's the purchase and sales agreement between the seller and the wholesaler. Okay, so that's the agreement that they do. Now, traditional wholesaling, right? They go out and they find a cash buyer. And they close on this two different ways. One is they can use an assignment agreement. Okay. And the other one is they use what's called a BC contract. So this is where you assign the deal. This is where you double close the deal. So the cash buyer brings the money to close. If he does the assignment, this contract is being sold to that cash buyer. If he does a BC contract, they're actually going to close on the house. There's actually two transactions here. So the first transaction, well, the cash buyer brings the funds in to fund this deal, right? The excess funds goes towards the purchase of this deal. So this guy actually owns the property for like a minute. It actually is recorded on a double close where he's the owner. That's how we used to do all of our deals. And then we started leaving so much money on the table and realizing that we can save $1,500, $2,000 on closing fees just by assigning the deal. So the reason why people assign the deal, it saves money on the closing costs because there's no closing fees between you and the seller here. The only thing is the seller will see your assignment fee on this if you're doing an assignment. They don't see the assignment fee if they do a double close. Does that make sense on the traditional wholesaling so far for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only difference is here is, let me just erase this a little bit. Kind of, a lot of this stuff is pretty much the same except for one thing. Okay, so they still have the contract here. Okay, and we still do an assignment or a double close here. The only thing is we jump in the middle right here. This is us. This is where we do a co-wholesaling agreement. This is the JV option agreement. So this JV option agreement gives us control over this agreement right here. So we're either going to sell the agreement as an assignment. That's almost always how we do it, by the way, over 90% of the time. Or we'll do it as a double close. We're just stepping in the middle. We're just making a portion of the fee in between.
Awesome breakdown. I know there has to be some questions in the
And I'm
Zoom
sorry
room
about my
here.
chicken scratches on my drawings there, but
Oh man, I'm actually blown away at how good it is. I mean, did you do that freehand right now? Because it was almost like one of those people on Fiverr that you pay to turn these little drawing videos.
oh, I wish it was like that good. No, it's not even. So,
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
so basically, we're right here. We're making the money right here. This is us, right? And we control this with that JV option agreement right here. And then we basically step in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And the way that we create value is because this wholesaler traditionally, say this wholesaler will make a $10,000 assignment fee. Okay, he's happy with that, right? He's pretty happy with that. If we step in the middle and we can find a buyer that will not only give him 10,000, but what if we give him an extra 5,000? So now he makes 15,000, and we're able to make 5,000 because this guy can pay 20,000 over his other. And he's basically able to pay an extra 10,000 higher. So we can help find the best buyers in a lot of these markets, and make a quick $5,000 to $10,000 pretty easy on most of these deals. Most of these deals, just so you know what we're trying to make, our goal is at least a $5,000. This is my minimum that I shoot for, is $5,000. And a lot of times we go higher. I think Ron was just saying that he's going to make 18,000.
Yeah, that's what Ron said. Yeah.
So now we may have a deal where we're just going to make 5 on top of the 18,000. I don't know. Or if it's a 50-50 split, what's 18 times 2? What is that? 36,000?
Yeah.
So the assignment fee is 36,000. So instead of Ron making 10,000, he's making an extra $8,000.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, so a few things come to mind here. One is, okay, let me just list them off maybe. Nick put in the chat here the question, double assignment. Okay. As a question, double assignment. Also, then my thought is how important is it to get the redacted A-B contract from wholesaler A so that I see what the deal is? How important is it? And then when
those are excellent questions. Those are excellent questions.
Okay, and then the other question would be at the end here. Let's say I get a buyer put in place, and he gets the assignment agreement. He signs the assignment agreement. Is that assignment agreement between me and the buyer, or is that an assignment agreement between the buyer and my wholesaler buddy, or the seller, and then what all do I make sure that the title company has? Now, I'm sorry to be so nitpicky and specific here, but I really want people to get that basic grasp of it. You know what I mean?
So here's how the majority of the deals happen, and each title company may make you change it a little bit, just to let you know, just a caveat, right? But most of the time, we find out what title company the wholesaler's using. If they don't have one, we try to find one that is wholesaler friendly, right? That understands assignments, that understands double closes. So when we send our packet to the title company, we make sure that they have that A-B contract between the seller and our wholesaler. We make sure that they have the JV option between us and the wholesaler. And then we make sure that they have the assignment between us and our buyer. So they have 3 documents. They have the A-B contract, they have the JV option agreement, and they have the assignment agreement.
So the assignment agreement, my buyer, if I'm bringing the buyer, will sign the assignment agreement between me and them, not the other wholesaler and them.
Right. We control the buyer. It's the agreements between us and the buyer.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
No, and and sometimes the title company makes you want to fill out an assignment between you and the wholesaler, or an A-B contract between you and the wholesaler. That depends. But most of the time we send that documents, they're able to do what's called escrow instructions to kind of fill in the blanks and connect the dots and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So then when you get your HUD settlement statement, you may see an assignment fee to the wholesaler, and you may see assignment fee to your company. And that's what Nick's talking about, the double assignment. So Nick, did you have a question on that?
Yeah, because actually it's a scenario I'm going through right now where the deal was 53. We had to go back, renege with the seller. We got it there. They got it down to 48. What I'm going to do is and they agreed to take $2,000 off the top. So already they're gonna sell it or assign it. So here's what we're talking about. We're going to assign it at 46 to me. And I actually have a buyer lined up for 58. So what I want to do is, they were talking about, well, we'll just assign you the deal. and then I can go out and sign it to my buyer. Obviously, I want my buyer to take the assignment first, sign mine first before I do anything on that other end with them. So at that point, they were like, well, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll go through that process. And I just wanted to make sure that was that double assignment actually even needed, or could it just been with the JV agreement and me assigned the different amount?
So every title company or attorney, depending on what you're going through, may request a different way of doing it. But typically, if I send them the contract between the wholesaler and the seller, I send them the option agreement between me and the wholesaler, and I send the assignment between me and my cash buyer. Usually that's enough. That's all they need.
Okay.
Because they see that there's a sequence there, right? Just as we drew that out, there's no break in paperwork. So that, and Justin did bring up a question about, is it important to have that contract? I like to have a copy of the contract. If they redact it, that's fine. That means taking out the price, but I prefer them not to. That's why I also know what title company, because I can also call the title company and say, hey, I have an option agreement to buy this property. I just want to make sure that you do have escrow open between such and such LLC and the seller at this address. Is that right? Yes. Okay, great. So then I know that they're not just floating a deal that they don't have legal paperwork on. Right.
Okay.
And that is important. That is important.
Brent, so you said as long as the title company get all the paperwork, everything is fine, right? Because when you did the first time, like last year, I did like you showed us how to do the Craigslist thing, and I went on Craigslist and found a guy. He just said, "Bring me a buyer." So I got him a buyer. So I sent it out to my guy, and his guy sent it out to another guy. So it was like 3 assignments. So everybody got paid as long as the paperwork was in to the title company. It was three assignments. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Title companies don't like to do that very often, right? But
Right.
The key is you just got to make sure they have the paperwork. That's it.
Right.
I've had title companies tell me, we don't do double assignments. No one does. Where did you even come up with this? And I'm like, okay, well, how would you, it's kind of like working with the homeowner, how would you like this to work? I don't know if that was helpful or not.
So basically, I just show them that we've done it. A lot of times we can send them HUD settlement statements of how we split profits between two entities. Now, here's not to dive too deep, but just to let you know, with every problem, there's a solution.
Sure.
So for example, let's say that me and Justin are doing a deal. Justin's the wholesaler. I found the buyer. We already have an option agreement, stuff like that. Well, what can happen? Let's say the title company is one of those ones that just doesn't understand double assignments. They don't understand how this co-assignment thing works. So say, okay, I can call up the title company. Great. Can you add my company as a nominee to the contract that Justin has with the seller? So I'd fill out a nominee form. That just means it's like if I went out and signed a contract to buy a house and I wanted to add my wife later on, I add her as a nominee on the contract that I originally signed. So me and her now are on the contract, not just me. So Justin can add me as a nominee. So we both are on there. And then we can even we're splitting the proceeds 50-50 or whatever that split is. 4,000 goes to Justin, 8,000 goes to me, or whatever that split is, right? And we can spell it out.
Wait a minute.
8,000 goes to Justin, 4,000 to me.
That sounds better. All right.
So on
the assignment agreements too, you can spell it out. You can put X amount of dollars goes to Nick, X amount of dollars goes to Justin, or whatever.
Yeah. So on the when you're adding the fee on top, that works out a lot easier. But in this case, where I can get some out of the wholesaler, I see that where the double assignment in my head, the double assignment works. But how do I do that with the option agreement? Where let's say they're going to sign it to me, or it's 48,000, but they're going to give me $2,000 off their top, and I'm going to get the rest from the buyer.
Right. And then also too, what if I just have a flat rate that I want to make? Like, what if I just want to make $3,000 and I don't want to make 30% or 50 or whatever?
Yeah, you can do that. So one of my good friends, he does a $3,000 flat fee on all of that. It's anything you can think of, you can put in there. There's no. It's basically totally. It's kind of like Burger King. You can have it your way.
Oh, that's,
Absolutely.
that's a whopper.
If you want a Whopper with extra pickles and no mayo, you can do that. So
It's a double royale.
there you go. But honestly, it's what I find the most is sometimes people, and maybe you guys are like this, maybe not, but I know that I used to get like this, and a lot of people that I've coached that get like this. They get stuck on the paperwork. They get stuck on the minutia of the details. I'd rather you make imperfect action and imperfect, like just mess it up and fix it. Like we can fix it, and that's what usually holds people up. Is like, well, I need to put this in paperwork this way. I need to understand everything about every detail. The reality is a lot of times you can just talk to the title company. Hey, this is what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
How do you like to see this? I usually do it this way. Is that going to work for you?
Yeah. You know, it's like having an attorney, having a title company on a deal. You can get so much help from them. And I feel like they're one of the most neglected resources for real estate wholesalers and investors. But just call the title company and say, hey, you know, this is what we're trying to do. You just nailed it, man. This is what we're trying to do. You know, what does it need to look like for you guys in order to make this go off without a hitch?
So I'll give you an example. We have a title company out here in Phoenix, American Title. And my very first deal I ever did was a JV Cowholesale deal with Eileen Brown. She worked for a couple different title companies. She's now with this title company. She has over 40 years of experience. She's the one that taught the majority of the people in the Phoenix area on how to do creative deals, how to do wraps and agreement for sales and subject to stuff and seller financing. So she's a huge resource. She knows all the paperwork. She knows how to set it all up. She knows how to do note servicing, everything you can think of pretty much. She has way more knowledge than most every other investor in town. But we don't think about to ask them.
No, you guys have heard me say I'm not married to the paperwork, right?
Yeah.
That's because, you know, the paperwork, we can make it be whatever we need it to be. You know, paper is just paper. The people make the deal, right? You guys catch that, right? It's kind of been the theme of today is no one gets rich in this business alone, right? So the people make the deal, not the paperwork. The paperwork is kind of a side effect of what the people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the paperwork, you know, we can figure it out as we go along as we need to because every deal may be a little different. But for the most part,
100%.
the chain of process that he was just showing, dynamic. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Great way of demonstrating.
I think there's always questions that come up like that, right? Like what are the steps, right? So the step is really, I just want you to think of as the co-wholesaler, you just need to go get the JV option signed with the wholesaler and then go get the assignment signed with the cash buyer. Right? That's
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah. Hey, Ron.
I did a deal with a wholesaler where we just used one assignment, and then me and him signed an assignment agreement disposition form, where he gets paid $5,000, I got paid $4,000.
That works too, right? And that's clear for the title, right? The title company knows how much you're getting, and how much the other companies get.
Is that like a marketing fee agreement, of some sort? Like I've had title companies actually request that.
I don't do the marketing fees. Like I know a lot of people that do that, and I think it's worked really well for a lot of people. But the reason why I do it this way is this way. I have a contract. I am a principal in the transaction.
Right.
I can legally market my paperwork.
Right.
Right. I can legally market it. So in some states, they're really strict about assignments, and they're really strict about doing some of this stuff that could be considered wholesaling, like without or doing practicing real estate without a license. But you're allowed to sell your own house. You're allowed to sell your equitable interest in a property. All the laws are pretty clear in almost every state about that. So you may need to double close in some states versus assignments as they're starting to come up with more laws about that. But for the most part, we assign almost every deal.
Beautiful. That's the best way. Yeah. Are there any questions in the Zoom room here about, we've tried to have a really rather thorough discussion about paperwork. It is a rather simple topic when it comes to paperwork and real estate. It's pretty simple, really. Now, it will take maybe watching this video a couple, 2 or 3 times if it didn't click. But once it clicks, it's like riding a bike. Okay. And then, it'll strengthen your paperwork game all across all strategies. But are there any questions in the Zoom room right now about paperwork or anything while we're on the topic? Because ultimately our goal is to get these filled out, right? This is the ultimate goal. So, we get these successfully filled out. There's a check. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. All right.
Yeah.
So
I just want to brag on Nick and Ron for a second, because those two guys were working regular 9-to-5ers or longer hours than that even. Right. And they're full-time real estate investors now. And all the strategies out there work. Creative works, right? Traditional wholesale works. This is just a shortcut. I just think of this as like a way to kind of shorten the steps in the process and the velocity of the money. It may not be as big of paydays, but they're pretty good base hits. And these guys have been able to do deals to get them out of their freaking 9 to 5, just doing this JV wholesaling stuff, and then add in this other strategies to everything. So, Ron and Nick, do you guys have anything to say about how the wholesaling JV stuff has helped you guys?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, that definitely did get me into that position to do it, and to where a lot of the efforts, you're taking those action steps, man. I can't emphasize that enough, because reaching out, it's not just doing the deal and kind of one and done. Stay in contact with those wholesalers, because now, especially in my Houston market, I've got it to where there's 3 or 4 wholesalers that I have access to their inventory. They're that they don't advertise that. It's not you can't see their stuff. So I can just go in there and look and see, and then I can just go to my buyer like, hey, are you looking for any of these zip codes, any of this area? There's like I think I got a line on this property here. And then I send them the option and the assignment all at one go. And it's just that easy. It doesn't always work that easy, but there's a lot of stuff that is awesome about this that I do like a lot. So it's take the action in them, and the stuff doesn't work.
Go ahead, Ron. What about you?
Well, I quit my job back in September 14th. It was, so that's about 8 months ago.
congratulations.
So, and I don't plan on going back. I got to give all the credit to Brandon because he really helped me guide through this and stuff. And there was a point in between December 15th and 29th, I did 3 deals. Just in between those 2 weeks, 3 deals. So, I mean, just like Nick said before, it's about taking action. Not everybody's the best action taker, but if you take some action, get started with it. But, it's like right now I'm waiting in line for my son at school. I wouldn't be doing that.
Kind of cut out there, Ron, but yeah.
He's in the robo voice.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, you're underwater. We can't hear you. Sound like you're underwater.
Sorry, I'm in a bad area. Sorry, guys.
No
I
problem.
don't get serviced by the school that much. But I was saying is just connect, it's a simple process. Just connect the wholesaler with the buyer. You're the man in the middle, just connect the dots. That's it.
Yep. I love it. And Justin, if we have enough time, I want to show how we use Facebook to find deals, the hunting and fishing, before we wrap up. Is that okay?
Oh, we've always got more time, man. Yeah, it's like ice cream. There's always room for that. So let's have some.
So I want to. So by the way, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I office with a lot of other real estate investors. So the number one home investors franchise is in my office, and they always have wholesale deals, but they're not always blasting out their wholesale deals, right? They don't put them all out there. So a lot of times I can find deals from them and then go and see who has an interest in this and try to get them added to my buyers list, or just sometimes, here's the thing is, sometimes we get stuck. Who's done traditional wholesaling? If you can open up your camera and raise your hand and give me a wave. If you've done traditional wholesaling and if you sold deals to the same buyer more than once, raise your hand.
Love that. That's great.
Okay. Now, how many of us become cash buyer employees?
Oh, I almost feel like it sometimes a little bit, Brandon.
I am telling you what, we've been all guilty of this, where we sell deals to the same buyer over and over because, hey, we know they're going to perform, right? Maybe they ask us for a discount and we're like, they asking $5,000 off a discount or maybe more, right? And like, okay, well, hey, they're a friend of mine. I like them. But man, why drop the price every time? You don't have to. And part of the reason is that it's because we don't feel comfortable we can find another buyer maybe. So it's very important to keep cultivating your buyers list, adding new buyers all the time. And one of the ways is on social media to find who the real buyers are. So I'm going to show you how to make a fishing post. This is where we throw out bait and get someone to come and interest in a deal. So one of the markets in our area that's a really, really hot fix and flip and rental market is called Maryvale. So I'm going to show you how I do a couple posts. I'm just going to go to Facebook, and so I just looked up this group right here is Arizona Wholesale Real Estate Investments. This is one of the groups I'm in, and I'll type in who wants my smoking hot Maryvale deal. That's it. That's my post. So let's look up another Arizona.
That's it, huh? No pictures, no address, no.
I can add a picture to it, but let's see here.
So, but we don't need a picture. It works just fine without a photo or anything.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I usually just use this little background. I try to change the background. Maybe I'll do something like this.
That's cool.
Maryvale, or I'll do.
Dude, I don't know how you made it do that. That is, I've never seen that before. That one's really cool. That's what I feel like. That's just me chilling.
It will sell today. Who wants it? Super deal.
It's me and my pet turtle.
Yeah. So my goal is to do 5 of these type of posts a day, or go in and do something like that. So, if I have a deal, I want to do something like that where I'm adding more people all the time. Let me see if I can do another Arizona real estate. Here's a real estate investors group. I don't think this is the same one I was in. Let's see. Oh, new one. Who wants a killer Maryvale deal? Maybe I'll change the background. Let's do maybe there you go. So how long has this taken me to do this?
Not that long at all.
Not that long, right? And then, so let's see if so I just did 3 different posts really quick. Let me just do another one.
How many times can I do it before they lock me in Facebook jail?
No, I'm doing in one post in different groups. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I did. Let's see. I don't think I was in this one yet.
And you do like one every other day or something?
You can do one a day. You can usually do one a day pretty easy.
Okay. I just didn't know where you stay off the radar.
But if I'm copying and pasting and I hit like 10 groups and then I hit 11 groups, they're not.
I think you got to stick around 20 or below. But I'm usually doing different types of posts. This just happens to be what I have deal right now, right? Maryvale flip deal.
And by the way, everybody, that I think that number changes on the regular. Like it may be 20, it may be 10, it may be 15 or 40 or 50 or 100 or who knows. Like it might be different by the time if you're watching the replay here.
Yeah. Now here's the so I just posted that. Now what I'm going to do too is here's someone that just posted some 46 minutes ago. Here's another one that was 4 hours ago. What I'm looking for is see if there's any interaction on some of these. There's some likes, there's some shares. Let me go to Arizona Wholesale. I think I just had this one. I want to see anyone that's posting stuff. Let me go in here and let's see, buy and sell. This was May 5th. No, this was not too active. Like I want to see who's marketing some of this stuff. And you can market your properties just like this. But now what I'm doing is I'm looking to see who's buying, who's making comments on here, right? So fishing was where I'm doing attraction. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to go and reach out to this guy and say, would you be interested in a wholesale deal in Maryvale?
Man, I get those kind of that message that just popped up from a VA that wants to sell you some kind of list. I get that like all the time. I think I've gotten 2 while we've been on this workshop here today.
Well, I'll probably get a lot more, right? So let's see. I'm trying to see messages from people. Not a lot of comments here, right? By the way, when we talked about buyers and stuff like that, also, I can reach out to here to these people that are posting stuff and are like, do you have any buyers for Maryvale? Okay, that's kind of like saying, do you want free money? You know?
Right. Yeah, you want a JV, bring a buyer. Right.
Yeah. So let me, I'll do another one here.
That's great.
I have a killer Maryvale deal. Do you happen to have any buyers? All right. So all I'm doing is I'm hunting and I'm fishing and I'm farming. Farming is kind of like where you're planting seeds. This is kind of like a farm. I'm just planting some seeds. But fishing is like where I made a post like that. I'm trying to attract people, right? And then hunting is trying to find a deal. Like today, if I want to find a deal, here's this deal, right? I can see, is that deal still available? This one too, right? Is this deal still available? That's New Western. I kind of stay away from those guys. They don't like baby stuff. So here's one in. This is a good one. This one. So I would say, Carlos, is your deal at 51st and Bethany home still available? Now, how long did this take me, by the way? I just want you guys to pay attention because we always have excuses for time. We don't have time.
And you can do this sitting on your ass, right?
You do this on your freaking cell phone while you're watching Netflix.
I could do this on my cell phone while I'm taking a squatty dump.
Hey, I want to tell you something. No, you bring up a very good point. So here's what's interesting. We've tracked a lot of marketing. So we have email lists, we have text messaging lists, right? So our email list, we'd have an email list between 30 to 40,000 buyers locally in Phoenix. A good open rate is like over 10%, right? So let's say you have 40,000 buyers to say 30%, click-through rate is maybe 10%. So if 10% of people actually click on my email and I have 30,000 people on there, that means 3,000 people will actually look at the email, maybe, right? Guess what the open rate is on a text message? Over 96% in the first 4 minutes. And that's because people like Justin bring their cell phone with them to the bathroom.
Exactly.
And check
gotta have something to do. Yeah. Gotta have something to do.
Hey, Brandon.
Now, guys, I want to show you something. Now look what just happened. So I just got a message right here, right? Yes, sir. Are you the buyer or have a cash buyer? So we are from one of those posts. I already got someone hitting me up.
That's great. Great.
Live response.
Yeah, we're trying to make these marriages happen just on your phone like this. I would be the buyer. Wow. Wow. Incredible. Great. Great.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
Just real quick, when I do those Facebook for wholesalers, what I do is I put in a comment to check your PM, because if you're not friends with them, it gets hidden into like a request.
Yeah.
So I tell them to check your PM, and then I'll message them.
So this is the people that I'm messaging, right? And then this is the hidden DMs that you got to check, right? Because if you're not friends with them, it goes into this outer darkness area.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like it's just a whole different list of things. Yeah.
So people you may know, or these are ones that are already friends with. So look, I just added a buyer right now.
Boom.
You're going to add that person to your buyers list. So now there's different CRMs. Justin, you use REI Reply, right?
Correct.
So REI Reply, we can create a cash buyer opportunity or a pipeline, right?
Yeah.
So let me go to pipelines. Here real quick, sorry. Cash buyer pipeline, and I can add a person as a cash buyer. I can even create a tag for what city they're in or what county or what state, because I'm doing this nationwide, right? So maybe I want to do a cash buyer pipeline and then tag them for whatever state, or I can do one for a cash buyer pipeline for Arizona, a cash buyer pipeline for Atlanta, Georgia, right? Let me show you guys one of the things we've used, just because we need something a little bit bigger. We're using also Close.io, which is another CRM. This is kind of like deals we're working on in marketing right here. And then if you go up here to leads, these are all.
We're not seeing that part, Brandon.
Yeah, I can't see it, Brandon.
We're seeing REI Reply still. Okay, now we're back to you.
All right, let me go back here. So let me go back
There we are. All right, cool.
Opportunities. These are all deals we're working on. These are new deals that came in today. The ones we're trying to contact. Maybe they're waiting on JP options here. These are already the market right here. So we have our staff is trained to do a 5-day marketing sequence with text and email and all sorts of different ways and social media. And then stuff we have EMEs on, stuff we're already closed on. This is kind of like our it's like a Trello board, right? It's a lot like a Trello board.
Yeah.
And you can take this and move them over to whatever next part is in the process. Now, this is leads, and we have this divided up into wholesalers and cash buyers that have contacted us. So most of these are wholesalers in other markets. And so we have Florida wholesalers, we have Arizona wholesalers, we have North Carolina wholesalers, and if we're reaching out to realtors to help us sell deals. So we have us divided up, and these are assigned, these little smart views are assigned to the guys to contact on a regular basis, right? So they should be sending out emails and text messages, and that can be automated too, to say, hey, what deals do you have? What deals do you have?
Yeah.
So once you create that contact into whatever CRM you're using, I recommend reaching out to that wholesaler at least weekly to see what new deals they have. And then the cash buyers, you should probably stay in touch with them, send them new deals. If you don't have a deal that fits for them, see if you can find a wholesaler that has a deal and send it to them. So
that's awesome. What an awesome demonstration, everybody. Incredible. I think we probably are running close on time.
Yeah.
But
next Monday, we'll dive deep and find out how to sell these deals, how to find a cash buyer, how to find the hedge fund area.
Yeah. I was going to ask, is there an importance to building a cash buyers list? Like maybe should I choose 5 or 10 markets, let's say, and then build a cash buyers list, vet them, kind of rub shoulders with some of them. They get to know them and their wives and the kids and all that. Or should I just strictly be social media deal by deal by deal? I'm just curious. And are we going to talk about that next week or?
I think Nick has you're going to chime in on that, Nick?
Yeah.
I have an idea, and I think it would be pretty explosive to talk about bringing value to everybody in here. What if we made a challenge and to everybody in this room, whatever market you're currently in, whatever state you live in, bring in 4 to 5 buyers and imagine everyone doing that. And then when we meet here next Monday, how many buyers list that everyone would contribute. So I would bring Fry from Texas.
Right.
Justin could bring Fry from Kansas City. Brandon could bring Fry from Arizona. And imagine an already built-in cash buyers list in different states.
So instantaneously, we're all in 17 markets.
Right.
Boom. With vetted, real cash buyers.
Right. Right.
And
Awesome idea.
I will show you guys too something that we have where imagine this, you're talking to wholesalers. Let's Lamar, can I pick on you for a second?
Yes, sir.
So Lamar, let's say you're talking to a wholesaler, okay? You're the wholesaler, I'm the JV wholesaler guy. Hey Lamar, hey, I got a lot of buyers. In fact, I got over 2 million cash buyers nationwide right now. What market are you in right now, Lamar?
I'm in Philadelphia market.
Philadelphia. Wow. According to my records, it looks like I have over 40,000 people just in the Philadelphia market. And I know I have a couple buyers that are looking for stuff. In fact, I got a hedge fund buying 30 to 50 properties a month that I can't even send them enough deals. Do you happen to have any deals right now?
Absolutely, I do.
So now I just position myself like what? Well, how's the frame?
Right.
Like he needs you more than you need him.
Yeah. And by the way, I literally do have over 2 million cash buyers. Now, Lamar, let's say you and I partner up and then you go out and find more deals. Now, Lamar can go out and say, hey, my partner and I have over 2 million cash buyers.
Got you. Mm-hmm.
We have over 40,000 in the Philadelphia area, right? So now it just makes you that much more impactful for that contact.
Got you.
So, and I'll show you guys how to build an overnight cash buyers list next week.
Sweet.
I'm totally stoked about that. Anybody got anything they need to share here today before we wrap up, before we call it a session?
Brandon, I got a question. So, you say you don't like dealing with New Western either, right? Because they have so many issues they don't like you to wholesale their deals, correct?
Yeah, they're great to send a deal to.
Okay.
But they don't like to JV with other people.
Yeah,
That's my experience too.
Yeah, they especially on Craigslist, but they put a lot of deals on Craigslist here in Georgia. So when I ran my ads the other day that you showed us how to do, it had a lot of those guys on there. So
yeah,
you got to weed through the riffraff and go find the other stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the weeding out process, right? So now, one of the things that we didn't we'll talk a little bit more on the cash buyers and my sniper method next week a little bit. And Nick's been really good about using the sniper method.
I love it.
Now imagine you're watching all the deals that New Western is selling. And then you go out and you track them a couple weeks later or a month later. And now you find out who all the buyers are for those deals.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Now they're your buyers.
Wow.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have fun next week on this. Thanks so much for all the time.
Thanks, Brandon.
Gosh, man, this has been dynamic. Hey, appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for everything you've shared with us today. Incredible.